Good morning, students. Let us continue the chapter Changes Around Us. We have already talked about physical and chemical changes. Let us study about them in detail. Physical changes are the changes in which only some of the properties of the material will change, but the composition of the material stays the same. That means the molecular arrangement of the material will not change. Only the form, shape or size will undergo the change. Physical changes are of two types, reversible and irreversible. So whenever we talk of physical change, we mean that the change in the physical state of a substance, like its form, size, shape or its state. The molecules of the substance will not undergo any change. So the product which is formed will be chemically identical to the original substance. So we say that no new substance is formed in the physical change. The amount of energy required to carry out a physical change is very small as compared to a chemical change. Physical changes can be both reversible and irreversible, but the majority of the physical changes are reversible in nature. Some of the examples of physical irreversible changes are cutting a piece of paper, peeling the oranges, slicing the tomatoes, and a haircut. Now, in all these changes, there is no formation of a new substance, but they cannot be reversed. Once you cut the piece of paper, you cannot get the original paper back. Similarly, we cannot get the peel back into the oranges, or the new tomato cannot be formed again. So all these changes are physical but are irreversible in nature. All changes will involve some type of energy transfer. So the majority of the changes are classified as physical and chemical. Physical changes are of two types, reversible and irreversible, but the chemical changes are always irreversible in nature. So physical changes does not affect the nature or the characteristic properties of a substance. They are mostly reversible. Now we are going to study the three types of physical changes. First is the change in state, second is the dissolution, and third is the deformation that can happen because of expansion and contraction. The first is the change in state. So physical changes which are reversible in nature are of three types. The first type is the change in state. Evaporation, condensation, freezing, melting, boiling, etc. all are reversible changes and are physical in nature because there is no new substance formed. The water on freezing will melt into water again, can be boiled into water vapor, and can be brought back to water again. So all these changes do not involve any new substance. The same substance is just undergoing a change in its state. For example, in the water cycle. The water cycle is also a reversible physical change. The states of water are changing constantly. As we know that water will evaporate and undergo a change in state into water vapor. This process is called the evaporation. Then the water vapor, as it rises up, will get cooled, and on condensation it will form the clouds. The clouds, on being heavier, will undergo precipitation and will form the water again. So this water cycle is a physical reversible process. As there is no new substance formed, the same substance is undergoing a change in state. Similarly, when we dissolve salt or sugar in water, that process is called the dissolution. So when a solute is dissolved in a solvent, we get a solution. This process is called a dissolution. There is no new substance which is getting formed. The solvent and the solute can be separated by distillation or simply evaporation and condensation. So this dissolution is a reversible physical process. We have studied about two physical reversible processes, that is the dissolution process and the change in state. The third type of physical reversible process is the deformation that can happen because of expansion and contraction. So when we say there is expansion in the solids, we say that the solid is heated and the molecules just spread out a little bit. They are not undergoing any permanent change. For example, a railway track will always expand in summers because it is made up of metal. So this is called the expansion. In cold weather, the railway track will contract and will come back to its original state. So with the change in temperature, the expansion and contraction can take place. Similarly, expansion in liquids and gases also happen due to change in temperature. So whenever a substance will expand or contract, the particles will stay the same size. There is no change in the size of the particle. The only thing that is changing is the space between the particles. So during expansion, the particles will move away from each other. That happens on heating because the molecules gain energy and they move away from each other. But on cooling, they lose energy and they come back to the original shape and size. So they will come back to the original space. The particles in the solid, they vibrate more when they are heated, so they are called expanding molecules. So the space between them will increase in expansion. This happens when we have to make tools. So these tools, which are made of iron and steel, are made of metals, so they will expand on heating. And before fixing on the wooden handles, these metal tools are heated, because after contraction they will completely fit over the wooden handle. Similarly, a cart wheel has to be surrounded by a metal rim. So this metal rim is expanded on heating. It is put over the wooden cart wheel, and then on cooling, this metal rim will completely fit over the cart wheel. So we have to first expand the metal and then contract it on heating and on cooling. So these gaps which are left behind due to expansion and contraction is for the safety of the railway tracks. So while laying the railway tracks, gaps have to be left between the lengths of the rail, so that when they expand, they have the gap to expand. If there is no gap between the railway tracks, then the tracks will buckle and this can cause the accidents in the train. So that is why a gap is always kept between the railway tracks. There are some physical changes which are irreversible in nature. For example, the breaking of glass. As no new substance is forming, so it is a physical change, but we cannot get the original substance back, so it is a irreversible change. Similarly, shredding of paper. When we put the paper into a shredding or a shredder machine, then this paper cannot become the original paper back again. So it is irreversible. But as the paper has not changed its composition, it is still the same. So it is a physical process. Sometimes a process involves both physical and chemical change. In a burning of a candle, when the wax will melt, then it is a physical change. But when the wax will burn by using oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide and water vapor, then it is a chemical change. So please remember, in a burning of a candle, both physical and chemical changes are taking place. A chemical change happens when only a new substance is formed. So burning is one of the chemical changes that takes place. The other name of burning is also called combustion. In a chemical change, a chemical reaction will always take place. So in a chemical reaction, two or more new substances are formed. The starting substance is called the reactant and the new substance formed is called the product. So in a chemical reaction, reactants will give rise to products. The arrow means change into. So it is very difficult to reverse this process. That is why most of the chemical changes are irreversible. So when we burn any fuel, it needs oxygen and it gives out carbon dioxide and water vapor. So in the end, you get the ash that is left behind. So what are the reactants? The reactants is the fuel and the oxygen. So fuel and oxygen will burn to give you three products: carbon dioxide, water vapor and the ash, which is the solid residue. Rusting of iron is another change which is chemical and irreversible. The iron particles, the iron bridges, everything that is made of iron will continuously react with water and oxygen, and it will form a red color oxide called rust. This will totally spoil the iron and the iron will lose its strength. So this is a new product that is formed. So what are the reactants? Water, iron and oxygen. And the new product is formed are the rust, which is iron oxide. So this is a chemical reaction or a chemical change. Burning of sugar is also a chemical change. That is called the charring of sugar. So charring is a chemical process in which the sugar is burnt to form a new substance called the charcoal. So charcoal is made when you heat sugar and evaporate its water. So there will be a black colored solid that is left behind, and this is a permanent chemical change because we have formed a new substance. The water vapor and the carbon are the new substances that are being formed. Similarly, if you take baking soda and vinegar and mix them, you will get new substances and the release of carbon dioxide bubbles. That is why baking soda is put in cakes, so that carbon dioxide is released and the cake batter will rise up on heating. So if you put a balloon over the mouth of the reaction between baking soda and vinegar, this balloon is going to get filled up with carbon dioxide gas and become bigger in size, proving that a new substance is getting formed by the reaction of baking soda and vinegar.